how are robots and AI and androids connected to gender liberation? So, based on the definition that I'm using of gender, considering that it's my belief that it's a social construction, there's really nothing upholding gender except for humans. In the genre, many genres, but one that has really been popping off recently, hyperpop. It is so obviously an example of the intersection of gender liberation and robots. Hyperpop often features vocals that are so auto-tuned that you can no longer differentiate the voice of a man, woman, a robot. You just cannot tell. And I think that's one of the things that's so appealing and why hyperpop has garnered such a large audience of people who identify as queer, is because they're attracted to the robotic genderlessness of hyperpop. So if we're already seeing the influence of hyperpop in music and aesthetics, don't get me started on the aesthetics of hyperpop, people are just like, I'll insert some pictures behind me, of course, but like Arca, Sophie, rest in peace, so many people were adopting these gender fluid, non-binary, no gender, totally alien aesthetics in it. I love it. And I feel like if we're already seeing this kind of influence in music, then why wouldn't it be adopted at a larger scale once robots are present at a larger scale in life? I feel like the way that we're talking about women in STEM is not important enough. And not just women in STEM, but people of color in STEM, gender non-conforming people in STEM, poor people in STEM. Like, if we just keep having college-educated, mostly white men in, like, coding positions, then no matter, even if they're like, you know what, get on one knee, fist in the air, ally, it doesn't matter because their bias is still going to be in the code that they write. I took coding for like 5 years from middle school to high school, and I hated it. Everything that I said would just get resaid in a different way by a guy, and there was like 3 other girls in my coding class of like 30 people. I felt just like it was not space for me. And that's coming from a white woman. It's much harder for people of color and gender non-conforming people, which now I do identify as gender non-conforming, but at the time, it's a big old she-her. So, I hated it, and I would always see these campaigns about, like, women in STEM, like, there needs to be more women in STEM, and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, why would I want to put myself through this for the rest of my life? Like, I enjoyed the coding, I really liked it, the feeling of completing a code and, like, successfully making it run was incredible. The environment was so disheartening. If, you know, the whole woman in STEM thing had been advertised differently, in a way that actually highlighted the importance of women in STEM, like, logistically, not just for, like, diversity points, I think if that had been highlighted, because just telling women, like, there's not enough of you in this field, there should be more, like, why? Why should there be more? I think if that had been advertised to me, I probably would be going to UW and paying about $60,000 less for tuition. So that's fun to think about. I think the way that we talk about women in STEM is absolutely not highlighting the, like, dire need for women and other minorities in STEM. Literally, guys, robots are so close. They're literally so close. Like I said, I'm hopeful that there's going to be incredible work done. But that does not mean I do not recognize that there's also the potential for a lot of damage to be done. So on one hand, you have like gender liberation and hyperpop music being an example of that. And then you have like war and shit. Like, I just think it's so, like, not ironic, I don't know. My vocabulary has really been dwindling recently. But telling that Siri is already a woman and Alexa is already a woman, and despite the fact that you can, like, change the sound of their voices, don't kid yourself. They were still formatted to be a woman helper. So, yeah. And that is just really frustrating to me. So, do I look like a man? I'm literally so amazed that drag kings can, like, make themselves look like a man, because, like, what the fuck is this? I'm really scared of myself right now. Yeah, so that was me just talking about gender and robots for a long time, and please give me an A. Thank you.